Well, hello. How are you going? Well, hello there. How are you doing today? Hope you're having a fantastic day. Sorry, I've just seen my eyes. I think they're a bit red. I've just been at the pools. It's 38 degrees currently Celsius in Perth, where I am, here for a few days for Christmas. Um, yes, so here we are again, ready to take a walk through the strange realm we find ourselves in. So I guess we'll jump into it.
A 5-year-old boy's got no business being in school.
Oh, I agree
He's
with
got no
that.
business. He needs to be out climbing a tree. Now,
That's right.
maybe he'll break his arm, but he'll be happy because he'll have a cast and he'll have the
That's
scars
right.
of war.
That's right.
He needs to be muddy. He needs to be dirty. He needs to be out feeding the horses. All right. He needs to be growing and developing. He doesn't need to be sitting down in a book and trying to figure out if a train leaves Chicago at 8 a.m. traveling 35 miles. He don't need that nonsense.
He does it.
Okay? And you're
Yeah.
going to ruin him.
That's right.
Well, it's the same thing applies to a 20-year-old, but just in different areas.
Yes.
They don't need it. Okay?
Yeah,
They don't
that's
need
right.
it. What do they need? They need to learn how to build relationships. They need to be around a campfire with a bunch of buddies and figuring out the pain of acting stupid.
Yeah.
They need to figure it out.
That's right.
All right, they need to be down to the creek baiting down there, getting a bloody nose and a good fist fight because somebody has not yet learned how to shut their mouth. Okay, they need to learn life.
Yes.
You don't learn life sitting in a bunch of stinking seminars. No offense.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, none taken.
No offense.
None ta-
There's a time and a place for everything.
Yeah.
Now, all young men are not the same. Some young men, they hit 18, 19, they're there.
Yeah.
Okay. But if you take a 18-year-old who, we put him in school when he was 4,
Yeah.
all right?
Yeah.
He went all the way through grade school.
Yeah.
Then he went through middle school. Then he went through high school.
Yeah.
Then he went to college. Then he went to pre-med. And then he went to med school.
Right.
What did he learn?
Well, I tell you what we teach them. We teach them not to ask questions. We teach them how to answer questions. We beat the curiosity out of them. That's what they're learning.
And so
What we tell them to learn.
they just parrot. They don't think for themselves.
There it
and,
is.
and they don't, their empathy is stunted. You come off a horse and hit the ground, I'm gonna look down, I'm gonna say, did that hurt? Okay? Because I've been there.
Yes.
Okay?
Right.
I've
right.
been there so many times.
Right.
Okay? I can empathize.
Yeah.
And I can say, get up, brush yourself off, and get back on.
Right.
Oh, you broke a couple of ribs?
Right.
Well, here's some aspirin. I've been there, done that.
Right. But you're also going to probably tell me what I did.
Oh, absolutely.
And
will.
boy, am I going to learn it a lot better.
Okay.
Because of that.
But if you spent all of your life sitting in one classroom after another, sitting in front of a computer,
That's right.
learning how to make more money, you don't learn how to preserve relationships.
Yeah.
You don't learn how to empathize with people, not to the level that you should.
Yeah.
We got to let kids be kids. And I don't, this is me, a 26-year-old is still a kid.
Yeah.
And we got to let them be a kid.
Yeah.
We got to let them mess up.
Yeah.
You know, we got to let them have fun.
Yeah, gotta let them have fun, gotta let them make mistakes, right? Because there's no such thing as mistakes, right? They're just mistakes. So if you don't have mistakes and do it again and learn how to do it better, then how do you become a functioning, valuable human being? Well, not human being, man or woman. Got to be careful with our words these days, right? Don't want to speak of corporations, but yeah, it's so true, right? Like, and we know, like they did that test on, or experiment, I guess, no, test on kids who went to school and they tested them at year one. And I think it was 98% were tested as genius. And at the end of school, it was down to something like 4% hit genius level. So school teaches you what to think, not how to think. And that's the problem. That's why we have stupid people. Um, and the whole empathy thing, the whole learning about life, learning how to interact with people through mistakes, right? And learning and obstacles and getting over them. That's why we find ourselves in the world that we do today. That's why there's so many weak people. There's so many people who don't know who they are. And basically people who get triggered, right? by nothing, by words, because they've never been slapped when they do this. So they don't understand that it's not acceptable in a social situation. They've never been taught that because they've spent all their days, all their years in a classroom, not experiencing anything. Getting the wrong information, but even that information they get, they never turn into wisdom because they never put it into any use. You can't learn that much sitting in front of a board, having someone talk at you. We need to get out and do things to get wisdom of how they actually work.
John Davison Rockefeller said, I don't want a nation of thinkers, I want a nation of workers.
Ever wondered why our education system feels like a one-size-fits-all conveyor belt? John D. Rockefeller shaped it to serve the elite, not you. In the early 20th century, Rockefeller poured $180 million into the General Education Board. On the surface, it was about promoting education. But let's peel back the layers. Frederick T. Gates, Rockefeller's advisor, allegedly said, "In our dreams, the people yield themselves with perfect docility to our molding hand." They didn't want thinkers, they wanted obedient workers. Schools became more like factories. Before Rockefeller's influence, education was about community and practical skills. Bell schedules, standardized tests, uniform curriculums, all designed to churn out compliant workers. Rockefeller's goal was clear: create a workforce, not free thinkers. Fast forward to today, and we're still stuck in the same mold. Schools teach kids to fit into the system, not challenge it. The internet is our biggest weapon against this outdated system. Self-education, financial literacy, and critical thinking are key.
At the outset, Butts said that he agreed that vouchers, tax credits, and so forth probably were more efficient. That is, you probably could get better education in a technical sense for less cost. He then went on to say, but what makes you think that the public school system ever was concerned with matters of efficiency and simply teaching kids to read and write and learn? He said the reason the public schools were established had very little to do with those purposes. They were established for social and political reasons. They were established for the purpose of what Butts calls teaching civic virtue, civic education.
Civic virtue, hey? How to be a good civilian, right? How to be a good corporate employee, corporate slave. And they're called schools, right? Like a school of fish. School of fish. Everyone follows each other, right? They all do the same thing. They move as one. They make us wear uniforms. At least in some schools, uniform means all the same. Then they put us in classrooms and they split us up into classes, right? The smart kid, the sporty kid, the trouble kid, whatever. But yeah, again, schools are just literally they come from work factories. Look into work factories. I've done a couple of videos years ago on them, and they were basically where people, children went and worked all day, and they were given food and board basically. And that's literally the precursor to schools, to the schooling system. And of course, J.D. Rockefeller in there pumping money in to get basically worker factories, right? Because that's all that schools are. Teach you how to be a good worker, how to line up, how to be on time, and how to pay your taxes.
Gnostic Jesus versus the Christian Jesus. What's the difference? Christian Jesus is about faith, belief, and worshiping God, while Gnostic Jesus is about knowledge, gnosis, and becoming enlightened. Christian Jesus came to die in a blood sacrifice to atone for sin. Gnostic Jesus was a divine spiritual teacher of knowledge and wisdom. He taught that all humans had a divine spark within us. Christian Jesus was a continuation of the Old Testament and called Yahweh his Father. Gnostic Jesus was the exact opposite. He argued the God of the Old Testament was the demiurge, a lesser false god, while the God of the New Testament was the true unknown God in the divine realm of light. Christian Jesus was all about church, hierarchy, worship, and obedience to God. The Gnostic Jesus was all about inner work and awakening. The kingdom of heaven and God was not outside you, but within. The Christian Jesus was literally God incarnate, and if you don't believe in him, you're going to go to hell. Gnostic Jesus taught we're already in hell, created by this guy's God, the demiurge, and humanity needs to awaken.
Choose your Jesus. Yeah, I mean, and that's just another example of how they've twisted and inverted everything. I don't know if Jesus was real. I don't know if it was, if he, the story was modeled off someone called Jesus or not, or a group of people. I'm not sure. But the thing is that there is some good stuff in the teachings. There is, but like everything, they have inverted it and wrapped their story around it. And now, like we saw, Jesus is all about worship, and if you don't do what I tell you, you'll go and burn in hell. Because the only way out of here is through me, right? Where Gnostic Jesus was about gnosis, right? Knowledge, actually understanding what we learn. Because this is the thing I talk about a lot is there's so much information, but no one's doing anything with it. No one's turning it into wisdom, into gnosis, into knowledge, where they can use it for something because they understand it. That's not what we're taught, right? We're taught to be a good slave, right? Seriously, we are. Get a job, work hard, do what society tells you to, and pay your taxes and don't complain. And that's really what the whole system, religion, schooling, entertainment, the whole lot, that's what it's all been about. Just work, 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 so that the parasites, the allies, can just live off us.
We build a building, and then when it's built, it's still called a building, and not a built. We skate on skates, ski on skis. How come we don't shoe in shoes? We pronounce canoes as canoes, but not volcanoes as volcanoes. We say 22, 33, 44, but for the number 11, we don't say 1-1 or 1-teen. All languages we speak travel at the speed of sound. The sign language travels at the speed of light. A do not touch sign in Braille would end up being a little too late. We go to the shop. We go to work. We go to the game, but we don't say we're going to the home. Just going home.
Why do we say taking a dump when we're clearly leaving it behind?
And why do people think confidence is everyone's definitely going to like me? Confidence is I'm absolutely fine if they don't like me. You see, confidence is when you stop auditioning for approval. It's not arrogance. It's simply realizing that you can't be everyone's cup of tea. Otherwise, you would be a fucking mug.
Very nice. Word spells. There's some good ones. We plant a plant, but we don't seed a seed. What's going on with the English language? That's why the first thing they teach us at school is spelling, because it's all spells.
Cuz I don't give a fuck. You think you think you're gonna talk shit like I'm paying out homeless people? At what point I give a fuck what you think? At what point is it somebody's house or just a pile of fucking rubbish, cuz? This is the city, lad. This is the full city. Look at this shit, cuz. Look at this. Look at this, cuz. Look. There's fucking syringes, fucking bottles. But what the fuck is that, cuz? You know what I mean? This isn't paying out. This is not a homeless person's home just because he's a fucking sleep there. This is just a fucking pile of junky shit, cuz. Like, what the fuck is that?
Get listening.
In the middle of the city. Cuz, look where we are. How the fuck is that allowed to stay there? How the fuck is a cunt just allowed to lay there with needles and people are walking around it? Why, is he a protected species? We can't talk about him. He's homeless. That's a shit go. Get the fuck out of here. What the fuck are you doing, you dumb cunt? What the fuck is this? What the fuck's wrong with this cunt?
That's why he's number one. Bro, he's so right. He's so right, bro. It's obviously hilarious the way he's articulating it. He's fucking so right.
There you go. He's so right. Yeah, sorry about the F-bombs in that one. And a few other bombs. Down here we just call it Aussie speak. Yeah, but it's funny, right? But true. Like, why are these people allowed to do that? Like in the city, just create mess and syringes and stuff and rubbish and just lie on the side of the road. I mean, it wasn't, you couldn't do that even 5 years ago, let alone 10, right? But now, that's just the degradation of society. It's a planned collapse. They're trying to collapse society, right, and run away with all the gold, right, all the treasure. But they can't, right, because they've already lost, and we're in a big shift going on at the moment. So they can try, but I think they understand they've already lost, and the thing is about all this end time stuff that's going on, all this, on the news and on the socials, all this talk about end times. It's not our end time, it's their end time.
A global flood seemed pretty ridiculous until now with this. It explains nearly everything with models and evidence. But for the longest time, we couldn't model a global flood scenario that would bury literally everything, which is why it was such a hotly debated topic, especially the water erosion on the Sphinx. If the poles shifted, it would create a sloshing of the oceans of the Earth. The sloshing would go over the low parts of the continent and then drain back out. Those flow patterns are seen in Egypt and Saudi Arabia. A huge drain for this would be Mauritania. Any ancient city that was there would have got wiped off the continent and swallowed by the ocean in a debris field that we find right off the coast. It's called the Mauritania Slide Complex. This dude started recording history for the West. When he spoke with the Egyptian priests, they said they have been through 4 of these events, which is just one account of upwards of 500 global flood legends, these ranging all the way from Mexico to Rome. It would explain why there's 3 different erosion patterns on the Great Pyramid and why there are cities in the sky, like in Sri Lanka and Peru. This is the best part. 85% of ancient temples are aligned to this mysterious North Pole. From the passage mounds in England to every pyramid in China. From that pole to our pole is what this simulation is. This theory was proposed by the ethical skeptic. Juno on X has released 4 research papers this year on the topic and makes all these sweet simulations. We're gonna cover what they presented, from the geology to the physics to how they tie these shelters into the narrative, and even give you a field guide for surviving one at the end. That's going to be on YouTube if you need something fun to watch with the fam over the next couple days. Click that after you follow me if you don't want to wait. I've got enough rabbit holes to put you in Wonderland for the winter, and they're all $10 right now. My hair is cut. Buckle up. I love you the most.
Well, does he really love you the most, or do I love you more? This is the question. Let me know in the comments. The flood. I mean, yeah, the problem I obviously have there is that was a globe. I don't think we're on a globe, but still doesn't answer the question of where did the water come from. On a globe, it's a bigger ask, right? Because they're telling us that all the continents are floating on magma, right? Which is why we get continental drift and all that. And then below that, there's a molten core of iron, which creates a magnetic field, they say, which is the poles, right? The pole shift. But Polaris has never moved that we have any evidence of, and it's at the North Pole. It's above the North Pole, the North Star. So there is a North Pole. There's no actual real evidence that there's a South Pole. There might be. It might be a ring magnet, right? But the pole shift I think that's going on is a polarity shift, negative to positive shift. The poles, like the poles of a magnet, right? Positive and negative. So I think we're going into a positive polarity out of a negative one, and that's what we're seeing at the moment. At the moment, with all the I don't think there's as much chaos as people talk about, but there's definitely a lot on the screen, right? All this news and stories everywhere, all over socials. A lot of chaos in the 2D world, but not much really in the 3D world. In at least my life and the people that I speak to, not a lot. So it's all this agenda, right, to prove that there's an end time, or to try and get people believing there's an end time. But like I said, it's not our end time, it's their end time, because we're going into a positive charge.
Did we die? I mean, just look at this world. Everything's on freaking repeat. Movies are on repeat. Mandela effects are crazy. Creativity is almost non-existent now within the art world. And any art that does come through, I mean, it's just like ridiculous, So what is going on? I swear to God. Did any of you have an experience where you think you might have died and just quantum leaped into a whole new timeline or a purgatory? Anybody? Anybody else have some crazy experience where you're like, holy crap, I should have been dead, and here I am, I'm still here. But nothing's the same, and everything sucks. Movies are crazy. Concerts, who pays $500 for a concert ticket? Give me a break. And people are paying it. Like, are all these things like just NPC people out here just making it look like life is normal, but it's not? Like, what is going on with that? Narcissists exposed? I mean, why is this world right now filled with narcissism? Like everywhere. You're married to them. You're coworkers, everybody's a narcissist. How many real people are actually out here? Did we all just like die and then on the same day, so we got grouped into category B, purgatory? Like, what is going on? In life right now, it feels like a trial. Like, am I being judged? Like, I have so many opportunities now that test my patience, test my view of the world. I don't even know what to say. I'm just curious. Are we dead? Like, who? We don't even know what death is, but I'm getting grayer. I'm getting older. So what is that, right? The world moves on. But what if that's just all the illusion, all part of it? Holy crap.
Ah, yes, what is going on? Are we in purgatory? Let me know in the comments. I don't think we're in purgatory, but there are a few different belief systems out there, theories. One is that when you die in this timeline, you jump into a timeline where you didn't die, right? Where that incident didn't happen and you keep living the life. Your conscious awareness sort of jumps across to that timeline. Is that what's happening? Could that explain Mandela effects? I mean, who knows? Have you had an accident, a near-death experience? I've definitely had one in the last 5 years, and it was a pretty strange, incident, followed by other strange incidents. Um, so who knows, right? Who knows? Like the whole timeline shift, it definitely feels like that. What I think is happening, what my opinion of this whole thing is, like I said, I believe that we're changing frequencies. We're going from a negative to a positive frequency. Now, if you've seen cymatics, which is where they play a frequency through a medium like water, or sometimes on like a drum skin with salt or something on it, and when they play the frequency, when they play, the in tune frequencies, they get perfect geometric patterns, right? Cymatics. And then when they turn the frequency up, it, the water or the rice, whatever it is, goes into a state of chaos, right? And there's no nice geometric pattern in there until it hits the next perfect note. And then bing, instantly it forms another pattern. I think we're in the between time, the chaos, right? Where we're going from one frequency to another one. That's what I believe is happening. That's why everything is seeming so chaotic, so out of place, so weird. People are strange. Everything's hard to relate to. There's people on different frequencies, clearly. This is what a lot of people call the NPCs, all these people out there, right, that don't seem to at all be on our level to the point where we couldn't even hold a conversation with them. So I think that's what's happening. I think we're in the chaos between the amazing symmetry of geometry, which, reflects what we see in the old world, right, in Tartaria. But please let me know your thoughts. What do you think about it? And let me know what you think about all of these videos, because, I do read them and I love to hear your comments. And also, guys, please give me a like, subscribe, hit the bell, all that kind of stuff. And also, Happy Christmas, Merry Christmas, Happy Christmas Eve, Happy Holidays, whatever it is that you do. If you're doing something, I hope you have a wonderful day with people that you love and that you want to spend time with. And I do hope you get some time off. If not over the holidays, if you're not into them, well, go earn some extra money, get double pay. But yeah, I hope you get time off soon if you're not getting it off over the break. So thank you for spending some time with me. Stay awesome, and I'll talk to you on the next upload. Bye for now.
Clover? This is way too small for you now. You can't wear this. I hear you. I know what'll cheer you up, Clover. Oh my gosh! Well, hello there! Whoa, look at you! Oh, you're a good boy. Merry Christmas, buddy. Hey, here. This one's for you. Get it, buddy. Yeah, pull it off. Good job. Look what's inside, Clover. Oh, my God. Santa. Oh my gosh, you love it! Buddy, you're so fast! Look at you, Santa Pup. You're so handsome.